Janice Combs, who brought up Sean Diddy Combs by herself after her husband died, explained how she took on many jobs to take care of him and helped create the base for his later achievements. She remembered seeing him climb up the music business, from a trainee to a boss, from a singer to a business owner, and felt proud of all he had done. But as she spoke to the court, something shifted over time. She explained that when his fame increased, she also noticed a clear change in how he acted. Janice said she started seeing warning signs that worried her, how people near him appeared scared, how his anger became harder to predict, and how she was suddenly blocked from certain parts of his houses, something that never occurred earlier. 1 specific time she remembered clearly was a trip to Diddy's Miami house in 2008. She came without telling him first and saw a strange feeling in the house. Workers were collecting phones from different rooms, and one young lady was clearly troubled while being let out by guards. Based on Janice's account, her son was very angry that she had appeared without letting him know. She also pointed out a picture of the pool house at his Los Angeles home, saying it had been turned into a recording space around 2010, but that he kept it very secret. I couldn't go inside, she mentioned, adding that it seemed strange since she had always been welcome everywhere before. Janice continued to say she attempted to speak with her son about the things she was witnessing and hearing. When the first public claims came out in 2017, she said she phoned him immediately, said the women were lying just to get money, and that this kind of thing happens to all rich men, she shared with the court. I trusted him. He was my son. Things shifted once more in 2023 after singer Cassie brought a legal case against Diddy. Janice said she faced him directly, alone in his New York apartment. I said I wanted the real story, not what the lawyers were saying, not what he was telling reporters, just the truth between a mother and son. According to her words, Diddy answered, Mom, you don't create what I've created by following everyone else's rules. Sometimes people get damaged. That's just business. Janice ended her statement with one of the strongest lines of the day. That's not how I brought him up. At one moment during the testimony, Janice Combs made a sharp comment that rang through the courtroom. That's not business. That's not right. During her entire testimony, Diddy stayed quiet, his eyes focused down on the table before him. His legal team looked worried, talking quietly among themselves and writing notes. But he showed no response, almost like her words had put him in a separate world. Janice then talked about how her worries grew deeper in early 2024. After the now famous security video appeared, showing Diddy physically attacking Cassie in a hotel corridor. I phoned him right away after I watched that video, she told the court. Heartbroken doesn't even start to explain how I felt. I asked him, how could you do this? According to her, Diddy tried to make the incident seem smaller, saying it had been a hard time in their relationship, that the video didn't show the whole story, and that he was no longer that same person. When the prosecutor asked Janice if she believed him, her answer was clear. No, not anymore. Diddy had never shown that type of fury toward her. She had seen it aimed at workers and partners. The man in that video wasn't unknown to me, she said, and that's what crushed my heart. As her testimony went on, she shared that she had discovered troubling papers in Diddy's home office, lists of women's names with comments next to them, like handled and potential problem. When she questioned him about it, he dismissed it as just business and took the paper from her hand. But as she told the jury, a mother knows when something's being hidden, and I knew. She then verified a key piece of proof, her own written notes. Pages she began keeping to record disturbing talks and events over the years. When asked why she started writing things down, her answer was deeply personal because I was scared. I was losing my clear thinking that my love for my son was blocking my judgment. But once I wrote it all down, the pattern became obvious, and it frightened me. At one powerful moment, Diddy raised his head from the table and made eye contact with his mother for the first time. The courtroom became silent as the two shared. A long, meaningful look, years of history, pain, and perhaps even understanding passed without a single word. Then came a talk from April 2025. After Diddy's arrest, but before the trial started, Janice described visiting him at the jail, where she asked for the complete truth, not the press story, not the legal defense, just the truth from mother to son. He paused, then reportedly said, I created a world where I made the rules, where what I wanted happened. People either went along or got forced aside. Was it always right? No. Did people get hurt? Yes. But that's how power works, Ma. Janice said she asked about the more serious charges: drug use, forcing people, threats. She needed him to deny them if they weren't true. But his answer wasn't a denial. He told her it's complicated. Everything started with agreement, but once people are in that world, the lines get blurred. Sometimes people change their minds after it happens, but by then, they've already taken the money, the benefits. She responded, agreement under pressure, or while drunk isn't real agreement. Diddy's reply, according to her, was scary. That's not how it works in my world. Lawyers looked more and more worried as she spoke. Diddy himself finally looked back at his mother while his main lawyer wrote a note and passed it across the table. When asked directly if her son ever admitted to the crimes, he's now charged with. Janice didn't claim he said it clearly, but she didn't hesitate. He told me enough for me to understand the truth. She described how he defended his actions with the phrase, "The system I created worked for years. Everyone got what they wanted. It only became a problem when people decided to change the rules." Looking straight at the jury members, Janice said, "I raised my son to take responsibility for his actions." When he said that, I knew he had lost sight of people as people. He only saw them as pieces in a game he thought he controlled. After that conversation, Janice wrote him a letter, part love, part confrontation. In it, she expressed her support, but also made it clear she could no longer defend or excuse what she now saw as real harm. When asked if she got a reply, nodded. Yes, he called me. He was angry at first, then almost desperate. He said, I didn't understand what was at risk. I told him that's exactly why I had to speak out. It's not just his life that matters. Other lives have already been changed. Forever. Finally, when the prosecutor asked what brought her to the witness stand, Janice answered with calm strength. Because the truth matters. Because I raised my son to be better than this. Because loving someone doesn't mean hiding. Their wrongdoing, it means holding them responsible so they can be better. Her eyes returned to Diddy. I'm here because I love my son enough to tell the truth, even when it hurts. The courtroom watched as Diddy seemed to collapse inward. His posture slumped. The sharp, defiant personality that had defined his courtroom. Behavior gave way to something much more exposed. For a moment, it wasn't a music boss facing the world, but a son hearing the truth from the one person who had always supported him. After her testimony, Janice quietly stepped down from the witness stand and walked past the defense table. She didn't look back, but Diddy did. Her words, more than any paper or witness, seemed to leave the deepest impact. In a case defined by news stories, secret lives, and hard truths, it was the voice of a mother that left the strongest impression. Janice. Combs didn't just give testimony. She destroyed the illusion that fame protects you from consequences. Her words brought a deeply human side to a scandal that has shaken the entertainment world, and as this high-stakes trial continues to develop, one thing is clear. Behind the glamour, behind the power, behind the empire stands a man facing not just a courtroom, but the truth in its most raw form.